This is my first crack at baby wipes and day hikes coming from my kitchen here in Valentine, Nebraska. So this is something new for me. Since, like I said, I'm putting this behind a paywall, I decided to go the extra mile and do videos. I hate hearing myself on camera and I hate watching my facial expressions because the side does something weird and I just do weird things, and I'm sorry in advance. And I would rather be behind the camera, but again, I feel like this should be something more than just a typed up section with a few photos like I usually do. I still might mix a few photos and some written stuff in, but videos it is. So I'm finishing up on week 37, which I am so ready to meet Hunter and go on and do some hikes and stuff. Because I'm getting to the point now where my feet are just swollen all the time and I'm tired and I want to do other stuff, but I can't. And it's kind of sad, but it is what it is. So I wanted to touch a little bit on hiking while pregnant and some of the pre-planning I've been doing as far as what I'm getting ready to do with baby Hunter in the future. We finally got the nursery run. I'm so excited. I'll show you some pictures of that too when we're done. So as far as hiking while pregnant, the only piece of real advice I'm going to give you, and this is the only thing that's real and to take it seriously, is talk with your doctor. If you have a history of hiking, you should be fine, but if you're starting a whole new hiking hobby or you're starting to get out and do stuff that's a little bit different and a little bit new, there might be some problems, preeclampsia and a few other things, and you should discuss that with your doctor and get cleared. That's the only piece of hard and heavy advice I'm going to give you as far as that goes. But I am going to point out a few things that help me and a few other tips that kind of help me as I've been doing these hikes over the last couple of months. So I found out that when it comes to hiking and pregnancy, you really have to follow that motto, hike your own hike, more closely. You are growing a whole other human and your body is changing and you can't push yourself, even if you want to. Which bugs me because while I do like my own pace and I like being able to do my own thing and take my photos and, relax and do my thing, I do like to kind of keep up with my husband sometimes when we're hiking, even though he's like a drill sergeant and just marches. Or whenever I'm hiking with my friends. But at this point, I just waddle, so it's kind of a moot point. I literally waddle. It's kind of terrifying. The other thing is hydrate, 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 which should be the mantra anyways, but when having a baby, due to the amount of blood your body is producing, you need to be drinking more water than normal. But remember to keep your electrolytes up. If you drink a lot of water, you should be drinking something with electrolytes in it, or eating salty snacks. Throw a bottle of Gatorade in there, just something. So I drink a lot of water normally, but I've been cranking like 4 of these out a day because that's how much water I've been going through. Speaking of which, but it really is important to keep that hydration up because you, like I said, are producing a lot more blood for the baby. Plus, it just helps you in general. If I don't drink a lot of water and I don't mix in some electrolytes or Gatorade or whatever, I'll get a headache. So that's something to be kind of aware of. Tied to the drinking water issue, you will pee a lot, which wasn't too much of a problem the first few months, but once I started getting bigger and my balance shifted, because that's something that does happen, your balance will shift. And if I didn't have a hiking pole with me or trekking pole or a tree nearby, it got a little tricky. I had to either have a friend, and my cat is like trying to get in the photo with us, so this might be kind of interesting. Hopefully she doesn't knock the camera over. She didn't, fingers crossed. So if you have a tree, hiking partner, or trekking poles around, it got a little problematic getting up and down. So I invested in a Shigo, which made it a lot easier for me to go and keep my hikes without having to embarrass myself, the husband, or my friends. Well, the husband wasn't too embarrassed by it, but I was. Watch your weight, not your waistline, but what's you got in your pack. Since I've been trying to get back into shape for months before I got pregnant, just for backpacking, and I failed majorly at that, because again, I procrastinate, and between that and work constantly, it just never seems to work out well. I wasn't medically cleared to do a long backpacking trip, because I was actually planning on let me retake English 101. Take a backpacking trip. I was actually planning on doing about a week-long one in the Badlands and doing the White River Badlands section and the northern unit too. But between me not being in shape and getting pregnant and then also COVID, that didn't happen this spring. Since I wasn't cleared for doing the longer trips, I was talking about doing a couple overnights with the backpacking while pregnant. And the doctor thought that would be okay, but they also, I work with a team because I go to an OBGYN that has 4 doctors and they all work together, and depending on who's on call, you wind up seeing them. But they thought it'd be best if I just stuck to day hikes and maybe do 1 or 2 overnights earlier in the pregnancy. However, as I progressed, they were worried about, how exertion and the weight would cause my blood pressure to increase. I was also having some issues with swelling. I had injured my leg, and they were kind of worried about clots, so they didn't really want me pushing too hard on that one leg. So I just kept my day pack really low weight. I packed the 10 essentials, I carry a lot of water. As some of you guys know from my Badland experience, I carry a lot of water anyways. Camera with a spare lens and my Kindle because I like to take breaks and read whenever I can. So that's kind of what I had in my pack anyways for the day hikes. Clothing will become an issue. A lot of your hiking stuff does not come in pregnancy size. Hopefully that'll change as more people get involved in hiking while pregnant. I hate buying new clothes, so I had to invest in some maternity stuff. Yoga pants are a lifesaver, especially early on. Oversized tank tops are great, but make sure you have something like a sun shirt or a long sleeve shirt or a sunblock, because sunburn while pregnant is not fun. It's not. So when you're actually hiking, I recommend that you are able to carry a conversation easily or be able to sing. If you're having trouble talking or singing and you're getting short of breath and whatnot, slow down. The trail is still going to be there. You can take a break. Mainly it's just, again, hiking your hike and going your pace. I always recommend taking a partner on your trail, especially when you're pregnant and you're still kind of getting used to it. Especially if it's a trail you have not done before or it's a very technical trail. Because you might not be able to step up as high as you think you can, and you might have some issues getting around some stuff and you will need help at some point. At least I did, but I'm also very short and tiny and I needed a leg up or two. And usually I just waller until I get up there, but with the baby bump it's kind of hard, just a little bit. So make sure you have a hiking stick or trekking poles, especially if you're hiking by yourself and you don't want to rely on that other person, because I'm stubborn and even though I needed it, I still didn't always hike with somebody. It will be extra weight if you're looking at it from that point of view, but it will help you maintain balance and help you get up and down steep places. And they're really good whenever it's just you. Like I said, I'm stubborn. That was the one way I could go out and still be able to hike. So it's great for one of your trails that are just a little bit steep in places. If you're gonna hike by yourself, make sure you do take those trekking poles, because that will be a lifesaver. And again, if you have the bathroom issue or you can't get up very easily, they'll be very, very helpful. I always recommend leaving a detailed plan of action. This again is if you're hiking by yourself. Make sure you leave that plan of action with your partner or your friend, somebody that you know that will be reliable and will notify the authorities if you do need help, and then stick to it. Don't, hey, let's go down this trail instead. Stick to what your plan was, and also give them a time frame. That way they kind of know when, if they need to send somebody out or they need to come look for you, they can come find you. Make sure you have a cell phone and make sure it is charged up, because it will not do you any good if it's not charged up. Yeah, I kind of learned that lesson. I would also recommend staying within cell service, which is kind of hard to do on some of these trails, but you can kind of plan around that a little bit whenever you're doing that. And again, that's more of a safety factor, just be on the safe side. Especially when you get later in the pregnancy and you start having Braxton Hicks and you don't know what's going on. Like I said, I kind of learned that lesson too. So Braxton Hicks are kind of fun. It's a whole other experience, like I said. And usually, the thing with Braxton Hicks, as long as, if it is Braxton Hicks, if you change position or you sit down and you rest, it'll actually make them go away. Well, not really make them go away, but it'll just relax and they'll fade back into the background. And that means you're not really in labor yet. But it means you're getting close. Again, 37 weeks, I'm learning a lot of these cool things out that I never thought about whenever I was just a couple months along. So that's it while hiking while pregnant. That's kind of the abbreviated, really short list. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Like I said, I'm not going to give you medical advice. That's when you need to talk to with your doctor. I will just give you like the tips and tricks that help me out. That's about all I can do. I do plan on having one more baby. I like to have at least 3, but realistically 1 more. And I'm hoping that I'll actually be able to backpack while pregnant with the next one. So I'll be able to give a little bit more information about that next time around. So keep your fingers crossed for that. So on the hiking and with baby and some of the pre-planning I've been doing with that, I've been daydreaming about this more than anything. I haven't really gotten into the Googling stuff yet phase, because I was busy with trying to get the nursery done. Me and Wade knocked that out. Well, actually Wade knocked that out. He's a great guy. He's a better decorator than I am. And I've been doing grad school again, so I'm working on some classes with that. And then there's work, because I'm trying to get a lot of stuff ready before I actually go on maternity leave. So I have not been putting a lot of thought into what's going to be happening in the future with the day hikes with the baby. But I have been kind of doing a little bit of planning with that. We did get a baby carrier for hiking at the baby shower, which is in some of the photos, and that's more of a 2-person team type hiking, so that'll be something we're going to be doing with Daddy. But I have been concocting in my head some ideas for day hiking with the baby, and I've been looking at the baby wrap, or a baby holster. I can't talk, I'm sorry, but basically it's a little harness that you put in the front. And I know that's not actually what they're called, but my brain is slow because apparently pregnancy brain is a thing. I did not think it was. I thought it was greatly exaggerated, but it really is a thing, and it will mess with you a little bit. So I've been looking at that and just doing a regular day pack on my back, and then had the baby here in the front. And I think that might be the best option for some day hikes. I'm gonna play around with it, and like I said, you guys are gonna get to see me kind of testing a lot of this stuff out. So I'm going to be looking into what I'll need to take care of the baby and myself while I'm doing this. Like I said, once I kind of things slow down with work and I go on maternity leave, I'll have a little bit more time to do that. And I plan on doing some videos about packing the day pack and the setup at a later date. Probably not that much later, because like I said, we're getting down to the wire. However, for right now, I'm just focusing on having the baby and getting ready for life to change. I'm going to post a few shots of the nursery, so you can check those out too. And I will be so excited when my little buddy Hunter gets here so I can go hiking with him. I can't wait. So that's all for now. Keep wandering.